have totally fallen in love with France. This is, to me, the most wonderful city in the world, both in terms of what there is to do and in terms of the sheer, absolute beauty of it. Just driving to work, wherever we are every day, just to look out onto Paris is just a feast for the eyes. I envy Parisians being lucky enough to live in this city. I immediately gained 2 kilos in the first 2 weeks, which is, I don't know, about 5 pounds. And so now we do a little eating one day and a little dieting the next day. Just trying to be a tourist. One of the great things about being in France is that the French, even though they might recognize a celebrity, do not approach them. So they might say, ah, c'est Jean Collins, but they will not come up and say, hey, I saw you on Dynasty, or Dynasty, as it's called here, and I'm called Alexis. So I've had a tremendous amount of privacy.
A hectic shooting schedule leaves the English Rose scant time for sightseeing. Joan stars in the miniseries Sins, but it also marks her debut as a producer.
For the first time I see things from the other point of view, from the other side of the camera, I realized that the producers are not the big fat men with cigars that you see sitting behind desks and chasing starlets around. They are very busy people. There's an awful lot to take notice of, and it's really down to the producer to take notice of all the details.
Those details include clothing and jewellery that would make the Queen of England envious. To get exactly the right look she wanted, Joan shopped around for the hottest couturier.
I'm really delighted that Valentino is doing it, because he doesn't do hardly any clothes, and I've got 33 clothes. The other ones are interesting because that's the 50s and the 60s, which was a great fun time to do. I've been killed wearing a thing that cinches my waist into about 20 inches. And that's a different look, and it's interesting. It's worked, actually, because I don't believe that I wouldn't want to ever do anything that I didn't feel I could pull off. I wouldn't want to ever be ridiculous. I mean, when I did my certain photographs in certain magazines, I would only do them if I thought that they were right. Even if somebody else said, I think this is right, if I didn't, I wouldn't do it. So I felt that I could get away with playing Helene from 29 up until the present.
Joan calls all the shots these days, but it was a tough road from London town to Tinseltown, and a hit role as Alexis Carrington on Dynasty. Joan frankly admits she only learned to take command of her career the slow, hard way.
When I came to Hollywood, which is the way the studio system had been going on for a long time, you were totally taken care of, like a little baby. You were put into the arms of the big studio. In my case, it was 20th Century Fox, and they did everything for you. They chose your business manager, they told you who you could date, they told you what you should wear, where you can live. It was like big daddies watching over you. They said you were going to do this movie, then you were going to do that movie. The movies were either written for you or you came in and did them. You were just taken care of. An actor didn't have to do anything except appear with its plastic smile, which is what I did.
Those days of being a puppet on a string are long gone, and with the world now at her feet, Joan the businesswoman decided that Venice was just one of Europe's perfect location spots.
Venice is just the best city in terms of atmosphere and romance, I think. We're doing scenes on gondolas and through all the canals. I don't think that many films shoot in Venice because it's pretty difficult to shoot in, but we're doing our golden ball there. Helene, my character, gives a ball in which takes over one of the old palazzos, decorates it entirely in gold. Even the food is gold, even the caviar is golden caviar, and all of the guests come in gold dresses and suits. Basically, I've just enjoyed being here so much and working with this wonderful French crew. I'm going to come back here every year and do a picture.
Joan Collins.
For Joan Collins, you might say it was a picture-perfect evening. Why the party? Sins, the CBS miniseries in which Collins starred and co-produced, won the ratings race against the heavyweight competition. NBC's panorama of Russian history, Peter the Great.
For my money, it was boring, and we weren't. You know, it's as simple as that. I'm not saying the material was any better, but we certainly had a lot more flash. Trash, but flash.
I'm really thrilled. I mean, I knew that we were going to do well. I felt in my bones that we were going to do well, but then when it really happened and when everybody started calling him and I heard about the numbers, I was just knocked out beyond belief. I'm in a state of shock, actually.
Sex always wins out in the end.
Allowance, Entertainment Tonight.
The greatest sin in life is the sin of pride, and I seem to have amassed too much of that.
Pride and a few other sins will be featured in the miniseries in which Collins plays a character not entirely unlike Dynasty's Alexis.
I felt that I didn't want to disappoint the public by going totally against what they expect in Alexis, but at the same time, I didn't want to just play an Alexis clone. She appears to me to be a woman who knows what she wants.
You are too.
Yes. She thinks that she wins, then somebody else comes and cuts her down, and she has to start all over again. So she has a lot of mean. She's always sort of down for the count, down for the 9 count, and then gets up again.
People across America think you've inspired women to be bitchy.
Well, if the definition of bitchy is standing up for yourself and not being pushed around and being assertive, then I suppose I'm bitchy.
Forsythe, Heather Locklear, Michael Nader, Catherine Oxenberg, and Gordon Thompson.
Joan, thank you. I know I speak for all of us when we say how thrilled we are and how much we love you all and how much we all love each other. And now I'm going to give it to the big boss.
No, you said it.
Linda? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate this. Thank you.